From Cardinal Television Studios, I'm Hannah Cheeseman, and this is your Fisher News Brief. The father of a Texas woman killed by police in her own home says her death is truly senseless. The man who shot Tatiana Jefferson has now been charged with murder. As Aaron Jones reports, the family is still trying to process the death.
Her mother called me yesterday morning. She said Tay was shot.
Marquise Jefferson waking up to learn his only daughter was dead.
I mean, it's senseless. My daughter was 28 years old, had her whole life in front of her.
Around 2 a.m. Saturday morning, Fort Worth police arrived at Tatiana Jefferson's house for a welfare check after her neighbor called them concerned her front door was open.
And I don't have nothing against the neighbor. I mean, hey, if he sees something going over that house with my daughter, you need to call the police. You know what I'm saying? But it's the way the police acted.
In the body cam video, you see an officer walk through Jefferson's backyard to a bedroom window where she was standing.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
Not even a full second later, she was shot.
You got to know that there's somebody's daughter. Somebody loved her. And it was a better way. It didn't have to be like that.
Jefferson thankful for their final words.
I texted her, said I love her. And she texted me back, said I love you too.
The two shared a very special bond.
When she was growing up, I read to her a lot. I bought a lot of books. Ooh, she loved to read. She reads all the time. Her mother tell me she in there reading.
Reading fueled her passion for learning.
Hi, my name is Tatiana Jefferson, and I'm doing lab exercise 5.
Jefferson going on to get a pre-med degree from Xavier University. Currently, she was working in pharmaceutical equipment sales, saving up for medical school.
She had hopes, she had dreams, she had aspirations. We've lost them for no reason. I've seen many cases like this where you think that they would have learned from it.
I like this Bolton, John, G. I don't want no hug. That's my one and only daughter. I'll never forget this.
The Jeffersons say they want the Fort Worth Police Department to advance their training so no other family has to go through this. New developments in the impeachment investigation. A congressional committee is weighing whether to question former National Security Advisor John Bolton as a part of its inquiry. This comes after damning testimony from a former Russian advisor. CNN's Suzanne Malveaux reports.
What's your message to congressional investigators today?
Fiona Hill testifying for nearly 10 hours behind closed doors on Capitol Hill, providing House Democrats with more information for their impeachment inquiry into President Trump's Ukraine scandal.
When witnesses actually just show up, it advances our investigation. The arrows continue to point in just one direction.
The president's former top Russia advisor telling Congress she raised red flags, concerned about wrongdoing in U.S. foreign policy toward Ukraine. One of her biggest issues? Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani's involvement. And she reportedly shared other concerns with former National Security Advisor John Bolton, sources tell CNN. Hill describing a meeting attended by Bolton and U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland. The meeting on July 10th, just 15 days before Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president. A source telling CNN, Hill said Sondland discussed investigations at that meeting, interpreted as a reference to President Trump's call to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son. Hill discussing what she called a rogue operation carried out by Sondland and acting chief of staff Mick Mulvaney. A source telling CNN she said Bolton characterized it as being like a drug deal, urging Hill to report the July meeting to the National Security Council's attorney. In another conversation, a source familiar with the testimony says Hill claimed Bolton expressed disregard for Giuliani. As first reported by the New York Times, Bolton describing him as a hand grenade who's going to blow everybody up. Maryland Democrat Jamie Raskin slamming Giuliani's actions, saying he's working against the State Department.
Rudy Giuliani has clearly been a leading force for the administration in defining a shadow foreign policy in Ukraine.
House Republicans taking President Trump's lead, focusing on attacking House Intelligence Chair Adam Schiff's handling of the impeachment inquiry.
This was another day in Adam Schiff's kangaroo court. The Democrats should provide Republicans and the president exactly what they would insist if the roles were reversed.
Sources say Michael McKinley, a former State Department advisor who resigned last week, will testify Wednesday. Ambassador Sondland is scheduled to testify on Thursday. Former Vice President Joe Biden's son is breaking his silence on President Trump's allegation he acted improperly while serving on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. Trump's request for an investigation into the Bidens to the president of that nation is fueling the impeachment inquiry against him. CNN's John Berman reports on what Hunter Biden is saying.
Former Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, broke his silence amid the Ukraine whistleblower controversy. This is what he told ABC News.
Felt just a little bit in your gut, like maybe this isn't a good idea to go and sit on the board of this Ukrainian company.
I said to you, in retrospect, I wish that my judgment.
Time, you never thought this might not look right.
You know what? I'm a human. And you know what? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some ethical lapse? Absolutely not.
There could be a significant link between pollution and miscarriages. A new study says pregnant women exposed to high levels of pollution face an increased risk of having a silent miscarriage in the first trimester. A silent miscarriage happens when a fetus hasn't formed or has died, but the placenta and embryonic tissue remain. Researchers looked at data from more than 250,000 pregnant women in Beijing between 2009 and 2017. They found that women who lived in areas with higher levels of concentrated pollution saw a greater risk of miscarriage. The authors think particulate matter pollution is a problem because the tiny particles can cross the maternal-fetal blood barrier and disrupt fetal growth and development. For more information, you can find this study in the journal Nature Sustainability. Here we go again. Sneakers are once again at the center of a debate over who is right. Social media is going crazy over the colors of these shoes. The singer Lizzo posted, "I see gray and teal, but my whole team sees pink and white. Help." Actor Will Smith also chimed in. The debate about the color of these shoes has been going on since they were first posted online in 2017. And before that, the dress debate took over the internet in 2015. Experts say these illusions boil down to our genes and how those impact our perceptions of lights and colors. Caught on camera, a cough sparks a violent attack at a Texas gas station. Meredith Wood has that and more in today's Take a Look at This.
Believe it or not, police say this attack at a Houston convenience store apparently all started over a cough. The two women were sitting next to each other at the slots. When one of them started coughing, the other started yelling, and the situation only escalated from there. Police are still searching for the suspected attacker. These doodles might look like typical barroom decor, but take a closer look. It could be worth a couple of $100,000. Japanese artist Yoshi Tomonaro marked up this wall inside of a Manhattan bar called Niagara nearly 10 years ago. Nara just sold another painting at auction for nearly $25 million, raising the value of his other works. A rep for the artist says the drawing was done in the spirit of the moment, and Nara would rather not see it sold. Take a look at this growing mound of candy.
It's not for us, it's for the kids.
The residents of Hardis Assisted Living near Houston are getting ready for Halloween. The old folks were sad to miss out on all the trick-or-treat festivities, so they turned to some newfangled technology.
First, I got to make sure everybody knows about the internet, of course.
They took a picture and went to social media to spread the word in hopes of getting candy donated to pass out on Halloween. And the community did not disappoint. For Take a Look at This, I'm Meredith Wood.
That's all for today's news. I'm Hannah Cheeseman with your Fisher News Brief.